On today's episode of the Cryptoverse. Today we've just broken back above 500 billion US dollars by overall market cap in the Cryptoverse, so that made me think today I wanted to share with you the progress or the status of a little portfolio that I bought when we had the big crash. So you may or may not be aware that I published a Steemit article 13 days ago called The 8 Cryptos That I Bought in the Crash, When and Why. And it listed the various coins that I bought and showed some charts and why I got in and when and blah blah. So feel free to go back and look at that. I will reiterate which coins I bought in a second, and then I'll let you know where the whole portfolio is overall and where each individual coin is. But like I said, we are at 502 actually, $1 billion market cap overall, so we're back above that $500 billion mark, and Litecoin's sort of sitting stable. And in the last 24 hours, according to coin market cap, from my point of view, it's down 0.01% after its nice move there. Now, just a quick note on Litecoin. A lot of people were saying that my video about the Litecoin Cash launch had nothing to do with the price movement, and it was more likely to do with the launch of LitePay. Well, okay, maybe, but I think that's less likely because we've known about LitePay for a long time, right? So I would have thought that that would have been priced in to the Litecoin price. I don't see how the fact that it's about to be launched would cause the price to boom unless people had doubts over what it would actually launch. You know what I mean? I think a similar thing is going to happen with EOS. I think a lot of people are staying away from EOS because they think at the end of the ICO the tokens will actually be worthless, right? And that maybe not. And some people are not willing to gamble it. So is it a case that people thought, LitePay might not actually launch, and then the closer it got to the actual launch and the more realistic it seemed, then they bought in? I mean, that just doesn't add up to me, personally. I think it's much more likely that a time-sensitive event like the Litecoin Cash launch, which does make more sense that people would buy in at the last minute, right? Because there's no reason to buy in before that. Because they only want it for the small period of time to get the snapshot, and then they can sell them off afterwards. So that's just a couple of thoughts in response to some stuff people were saying. Bitcoin seems to be the biggest winner in the top 10 right now, with a 7.3% gain in the last 24 hours, followed closely by NEO with a 7% gain. Everything else looks pretty good. Tron's doing well with a 12% gain, and everything else in the top 20 is doing very nicely indeed. Just a quick look at the volume. We're still chilling around 22 billion a day in volume and a BTC dominance figure of 36%. So given all this good news, that is the stimulus for why I want to share with you the status of my little crash portfolio. Let's go into that then, shall we? So I'm looking here at, I think it is 8 coins, isn't it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, exactly. So I'll list these coins and I'll list them in order of best performing to worst performing. So what I did, just as a general strategy here, I didn't do the scaling in. I entered these positions, if you like, on the 31st of January / the 1st of February, depending on where your time zone is. It was the day that Bitcoin dropped from around about 10,500 all the way down to a low of about 8,941 on that day. Now, the reason I went in at that point, which I talk about in the Steemit post, is because that hit a medium-term trend line that goes way back to, I don't know, like months and months and months actually. It goes way back to September, the 15th of September last year, where it retraced to, and I thought, wow, that is a significant retracement to a medium-term trend line. I believe that there's a high probability that will be at the bottom, right? So I decided not to scale in and go in on that particular candle. And what I bought was, in order from best performing to worst performing, some Litecoin, some Digibyte, some Bitcoin Cash, some Bitcoin, some Dash, some NEO, some EOS, and some Populus. Now what's interesting is that I listed Populus last, which means it's the worst performing coin. It is actually the only one, as I speak to you, that is in a loss position. It is down 45% from when I bought it, right? I'm looking here that I bought it at like £38 and 65 pence in British currency. That's the price I bought it. Call it £38. It's now £21. So that surprised me. That did surprise me. But this is why I didn't go all in on one coin. You know, I knew the market was going to recover, but despite that, the money has not flowed back into Populous, has it now? It actually has dipped lower since I got in, and it hasn't actually recovered, which is interesting. So that's pulling the overall average down, unfortunately. Now, let me give you the rationale for why I bought Populous. When I first heard about Populous, I just had a really positive response to it. I thought this is a brilliant idea. I studied it a little bit, and at the time, didn't have any money to invest in it. I was just fully committed. And I've been waiting for a pullback so I could get some of that. So when I saw the massive price discounts, and I started to decide what coins am I going to get, I thought, oh, now's the time to get some Populous. So that was number one. I've been waiting to get some at a discount, and that was the first reason I bought it. The other thing that tipped me over to Populous was the fact that it shows up in Cliff High's Alta report as one of the major coins that's going to pump this year. So that was just another reason for me to get it. But I already had my own reasons for that already. So it's down 45%. Everything else in this portfolio is up. Let's go up in ascending order. The next coin up was EOS. So we're going to go up to best performer now. My EOS position is up just 0.77%. So ever so slightly up on that one. NEO is up 5.3%. And this is over a period of what? This is almost like a 3-week position here. Yeah, if I went in on the 1st of February, it's now the 17th. So coming to 3 weeks in 4 days' time. So it's like 17 days. Let's call it 17 days. 2 weeks and a bit. These are the performance figures. Dash right now is sitting pretty at a 13.6% gain. The Bitcoin is up 18%. The Bitcoin Cash is up 19.65%. The Digibyte is up 20.33. That's a surprise, isn't it? Well-performing coin there. And then the out-and-out winner is Litecoin, 58.93% gain in the last 17 days odd. So clear outlier there with Litecoin outperforming everything else by a mile, and Populous underperforming just as equally, right? Now, if we sum all of that up, it means that the total portfolio is up 11.62%. So unfortunately, that pulls back all of those beautiful gains from the likes of Bitcoin, which is up 17 odd percent, Bitcoin Cash is up 19%, and Digibyte is up 19%, and Litecoin. So they're all around the 20% or more gain. Yet, because of the Populous, it's pulling the average down to 11.6%. Oh dear me. Well, it is what it is. I didn't intend to sell these in the short term really anyway. This wasn't a short term in and out. It was a purposeful trade, like I say in the Steemit post. I always say, like, before you get into crypto, know why you're doing it. What do you want the money for? You know, people say hodl. I say hodl till when, right? You should hodl until you've got enough money to do that thing you want to do, whatever that is, travel the world on a cruise or whatever, put your kids through college, pay your mortgage off, whatever it is you want to do. And that's the goal you really need to set before you get into crypto, so that you know when to sell, right? Because it's nice and all that, looking at the numbers and saying that you've got this much crypto, but the crypto itself is a means to an end, right? It's a currency, it's stored value that we want to trade for something that means something to us, right? Because otherwise, are you gonna die happy holding a load of crypto? I don't think so. So the point of that is that is why I built this portfolio in the crash. I took a certain amount of money and I thought, aha, this little portfolio is going to pay for that thing. So I put it together and then I've bought it then. And while we're talking about 17 days in, I don't intend to sell it anytime soon, right? I just got it at a discount so then we could ride it up. So basically that Populous position that's down 45%, I'm not too worried about that. If Cliff is right and if I'm right that this has a good use case, it has good fundamental value, then by the time this portfolio grows to the point where I hit the profit target, it will easily come back. And if not, that's fine, because the rest of the coins will pull the average up anyway. I'm not so much concerned about the individual coins as the mission overall in this case. There's a specific goal for this portfolio. So I don't see it, through that lens, for a microscope and saying, oh no, I've got to sell the Populous. No, it's a package. It's this portfolio as a collection that is going to achieve the goal, right? And the reason I spread it across the 8 coins is because that allows for an outlier winner like Litecoin and an outlier loser like Populous, and still makes money overall. And I didn't know which one of these would be the top performer or least performer. That's why you diversify, so that you kind of win no matter what, if you know what I mean. And you just got to be careful not to upset yourself by thinking in extremes, going, oh, if I'd just put it all into Litecoin, my whole position would be up 60%, right? Or you could say it the other way, like, good job you didn't pull it all into Populous, because then you'd be down 45% across the board, right? So you just can't do that. You got to be much more flexible and embrace the whole portfolio in this case. So that, and then just look at the main number, right? It's up 11.6%, and that's really the truth, right? So that is all I wanted to share with you for today. I'm quite positive about the Bitcoin chart as well. I can't show you it today because I'm not using the screen share, but that trend line that I talked about, the medium-term trend line, which the price retraced to at around 8,900, where I actually went into all these positions, we're now back above that, right? We spent how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days below it. That's all. We spent 2 weeks underneath it, and then we're back again. So we actually came back above that at a price of, let's see what the price was. It was about 9,700. So when we came back above when we came back above 9,700, that was when we broke back above this trend line. Now we probably need a test, right? We need a test of this again, because it's gone above it and it's stayed above it for the time being. So we may need to come back down and test it to make sure that we have a fourth touch on it, and then I'll have even more confidence that that medium-term trend line is going to hold. So there we go. I doubt that we will see $10,000 Bitcoin again. I don't really mind. Well, I kind of do mind, because you always want to accumulate more, but more, we'll always have that disease of more, won't we? So that's all for today, guys. If you like this episode, go ahead, hit that like button, and if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my structured online courses, you can go to my website, which is cryptoversity.com. Click on courses at the top, and you can take any one of my online courses, watch a Bitcoin documentary, take the Bitcoin trading course. I created all of those materials for your educational delight. Alright guys, that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.